Hey there, I was just calling to find out how like the process of like scrapping a car goes. I have never done it before, and I'm just not sure how it works. I've just been told to call you guys.
Is it something that we have to pick up or something you're bringing in?
Well, the registration ends at end of this month, so I could probably drive it down there. I haven't driven it in a month or so, but it's like, I mean, I probably wouldn't pass inspection again, but I just, I don't, I think I'm up in North Conway. I could probably make it to Tamworth.
Okay, so if it's complete, everything there, battery, new starter, factory cow converter, it's worth $210 a ton.
Okay.
Delivered.
What about if you guys were to pick it up and I just had you, like,
What is it for a vehicle?
it's a 2007 Toyota Sienna, like a minivan.
Alright, do you have the title? Because either way I would need the title.
Yeah, we do have the title.
Okay. And it's complete, all the parts are there?
Yep.
Us picking it up in, you said North Conway?
Yep.
I could pay you $250.
Oh, okay, so you pay us $250, or you said it's $210 per ton.
Per ton, yeah. So you get maybe...
I think it's like a 4,000-pound van. I looked it up, so it'd be like
That's probably
420.
the GVW, which is loaded with passengers. It might weigh,
Okay.
say it weighs 3,600 pounds.
Okay, gotcha.
It'd be worth $338.
338 or 250. All right, cool. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Is that something
You're
that
welcome.
if I do have you guys pick it up, is that something that happens, like, do you schedule it out, or is it kind of like a quick thing?
It's pretty quick. I mean, so, like, I've had a bunch of calls today, so I'm scheduling into, like, Wednesday and Thursday.
Wednesday and Thursday. All right, cool. Yeah, it makes sense. That time of year where all the snow's melted and people are sick of looking at the cars they didn't want to get rid of all winter.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, cool. I appreciate your help. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All right, bye.
Bye.
Alrighty, I just called. That was just Ricker's Auto Salvage in Tamworth, and I just called to find out how much we can get for the old van. I have an old van that we've had for a long time. Excuse me. And it is just past its point of being able to repair it financially. We ended up getting a new family van, and I now am driving the old family car, which is nice, because for the longest time the van has been, it's by far my favorite vehicle I've ever had in my life. I love it, and I don't even want to get rid of it because I love it so much. It's old, it's rusty, it's loud, it's falling apart. Every light on the dashboard is on, like every single one besides the check engine light is on. But I love the car. It rides nice. It's got room for everything. Another reason why I stopped doing my handyman jobs that I was doing is because the van was just like barely hanging on, and I could make it. I worked like 15 minutes from where we live now, and it probably has endless 15-minute trips on flat paved ground left in it, but it just wouldn't pass inspection, and it wouldn't be legal, and it wouldn't be safe really. And my wife was driving it to work sometimes, so I could have the car with the car seats in it, and I couldn't anymore. It was like if a wheel fell off or something when my wife was driving it, I would be devastated. Got to that point. Anyway, just unsafe, and now I'm trying to get what we can for it. I don't really want to sell it. I've sold stuff on Facebook Marketplace before, quite a bit actually, and I don't want to deal with that at all. I'd rather take a little bit less and just go get cash for it. And I was trying to find out the price, and it seems like if they pick it up, which might be the way to go, you get 250 bucks. But if I drive it down there, it might be like 350 bucks. Excuse me. We will see. But anyway, like I said, with the money that we get from that, I really want to get a mixer, like a commercial mixer for the dough for the tortillas, because that is right now the bottleneck in the time of production. The company that I found sells one for I think it's like $540 for a commercial grade 15 quart mixer. that has a timer, so you can just put it all in there, mix it, and walk away. And while it's mixing for 8 to 10 minutes or whatever, you can be doing all the other things they need to do, versus just like hand kneading one batch for 5 to 10 minutes. You can do 3 at a time and not even be doing it. And it's like, yeah, I'm pretty excited about it. That's the goal. But so if we get $250 for it, then it would really cut down the cost of the mixer. And yeah, so I just calling to see. I might do that today. Got some time. Might not do it today. I don't know, but I'd really like to figure out a way to get, because the commercial grade mixers are very, very expensive. I've been looking at Facebook Marketplace for used ones, and even used ones are crazy, but there's a brand new one by a company called Vevor, I think it is. I've seen their products in other, I think they sell a lot of products. They're kind of like a lower end product, but it looks, I've seen some reviews on YouTube and they seem really good. They seem like pretty quality, and at the scale we're at right now, I don't need something that's, I mean, it's not going to be mixing dough every single day, to be honest. So ideally it would, and maybe we'll need a couple of them. Maybe we'll grow faster than I anticipate, but I think in the moment, a lower entry-level model of a brand that's on the more economical side would be awesome. So then we got the flat top, we'd have a mixer, making a press. We're going to be in business. We're in business already. We are going to just continue to increase our ability to produce high quality, delicious, simple, local tortillas. But I'm heading home now. It's early. It's like 9:30, so we've got the whole day ahead of us, and I got to get some breakfast going in my life, and potentially we can get that van down to the scrapyard, bud. Get a couple dollars, go to the bank, deposit them, and maybe we get ourselves a nice mixer. I don't know. Anyway, we'll see what happens. If this is the end of today's video, I appreciate you watching. What was I gonna say? Oh, real quick. The whole thing with the van, I love it so much, and I don't want to get rid of it. But I heard this thing, this quote, I think it was maybe Seth Rogen, the comedian. He was talking about new projects and new things in life, and how you have things that you don't want to let go of, or that you really liked. And it's kind of like when a kid has a balloon and ties it to their wrist, and wants to keep the balloon forever, but eventually the air just deflates out of the balloon and you're just dragging around this like kind of decrepit version of what once was something you really cared about. And I kind of feel like that's the van, you know. I love it. Probably could have got more for it had we moved on a little earlier, but along the sides of, like, basically we don't have any money to be getting a new car, so we had to wait for as long as possible to try and figure out a way to do it. We figured it out, we got that, we made it happen, and now I'm hoping to make the most out of what's left of the van and turn it into the beginning of this new adventure that we're on, and make something out of what seems like nothing happen. And like I said, all the lights are on. It's a very withered balloon at this point, but I think it could be the beginning of something that becomes amazing and larger than I can even imagine at this point. But like I said, I need some breakfast. My brain's running low on energy. All I had was coffee this morning, and I'm gonna try and make the most of the rest of the day and see where we go from here. It's happening. The van's final ride. It's a sad day, but it's also a happy day. It's the end of the old van's life, but it's the beginning of a new chapter and journey for us. And we years ago stayed in this van, my wife and I, overnight after we went to our friend's wedding. And my wife had a necklace with like a locket or whatever it's called that has a little picture in it. That meant a lot to her, and we couldn't find it for the longest time. And eventually she thought she car out so many times since then. It's been years. I don't even know how long, but for a long time. And finally, I was just doing the last little sweep through, and I checked, and it was between a couple of papers, and I found it, and I'm feeling psyched about it. I'm pumped. It's honestly one of the reasons why I didn't want to get rid of the van was because I thought there might just be a little shred of hope that it's in here, and as soon as we got rid of it, it'd be like no hope of ever getting it back. But today's the day. We're driving to the scrapyard right now. She's a little loud, a little clunky. However, she's gonna make it. It's not that far, and it'll finally be out of the yard. We'll be done with it. In my mind, I kind of wanted to keep it because I was hoping to use it as an experiment. I mean, it's got an awesome engine that pretty much is bulletproof and will run forever. And if in an ideal world we had a homestead and an area to park it, I would keep it. But we don't have that. It's been in the way. And we can turn it into a little bit of cash to put into a mixer is the goal. A food mixer, like a dough mixer, 15-quart commercial stainless steel mixer to help further along the tortilla journey and make it easier to mix up batches and not have to just be hand mixing them the whole time. Yeah, so pretty psyched. We found the little locket necklace, and we called it the Sienna by the Sea for a long time because that's the inn we said we were staying at during the wedding. Instead of saying we're staying in the minivan in the parking lot of Walmart or Lowe's, or I forget where we even stayed. But yeah, it's been the Sienna by the Sea. It's been the man van. It was my handyman van with all my tools. I had a giant toolbox back there, and everything was stacked in like crazy. Yeah, we've gone to the drive, and we've done everything you do in a minivan. And it's been my favorite car I've ever had, like hands down. It hasn't been the coolest car, hasn't been the fastest car, hasn't gotten the best gas mileage, but overall rating, it's a 10 out of 10, and I love everything about this car. It's literally never let me down. Actually gifted to us by one of Kendra's family friends. It was $1. They needed like $2,500 worth of work when they were planning on, and then I think their children grew older and they didn't need a minivan anymore, so they didn't want to put the money into the van, and they gifted it to us for $1, and then we bought some parts off eBay, did it for like $500, and that was probably 5 years ago. It was 167,000 miles. I have the title, and now it's got 201,000 miles and almost 201,500 miles. It's by far been my favorite vehicle I've ever had. And we just ended up upgrading our family car to an old minivan, but it's new to us, and it's newer than this one, so it's been an amazing car, and just a little tribute ride, you know, a little sentimental about it, but I think it's way better to do this, what we're doing now. We get some quick cash, we get on with our lives, than the Facebook. Maybe I think we'll probably get $300 for it today, and I might get $500 on Facebook Marketplace for it, but then it's going to be someone who is going to try and drive. I've done this before with old cars, and with you sell it for a certain amount, and people think they're buying a brand new car, and nothing's wrong with it. And even if you tell them everything that's wrong with it, they'll put a 30-day plate on it and put their kids in here and just drive it for 30 days for $500, and then you got it's a nightmare. You got to worry about, the brakes aren't that good. I'm fine driving it because I know the car, and I'm not driving fast or far, but press and mixer. We got a flat top. We got a new flour supplier. We like the butter. I got salt. I don't know if I said this, but I ordered some salt from Maine, Maine Sea Salt Company. I think they say that it's out of Bucks Harbor, which is awesome because my daughter really likes the book. Isn't some blueberries for Sal? Oh, One Morning in Maine. It's called. It's set in Bucks Harbor, so we read that book occasionally. She loves it. I love it. It's a Maine book, and we're getting Maine sea salt from Bucks Harbor, bud. So between the flour out of Vermont, the butter out of Maine, and the salt out of Maine, the water from here, we're gonna have awesome tortillas. I've been looking to. I found some sourdough tortilla recipes where you let the dough ferment overnight, which is super interesting to me. Not anything I'm familiar with, so I'm gonna stick with what I know works and is delicious right now. But I'm gonna start also moving forward with experimenting with the sourdough tortillas if they come out good. I know all sourdough has a little bit of a tang to it that some people don't like, but it's also super interesting because during the fermentation process, the grains are broken down to a degree that is awesome and like beneficial to your gut health, easier for people to digest. I don't know, there's a lot about it.